Hey Jackie, hey Cameron. So I wanted to talk today about kind of this burning idea I've had for some sort of a project channel. I'm not sure what format would be best. I feel like we need more discussion involving nuance, especially around some of our hot topic, like our hot button issues. Because people on the right and the left tend to get pretty entrenched in their echo chamber and either have a false idea of what the other side believes, they don't understand why the other side believes what they do, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of legitimate communication across. But when like that does happen, good things happen, but a lot of people don't see it, right? Because that's not something that benefits those that profit from the division. For example, the other day on Twitter, the main guy from the Young Turks, Cenk, I think, Cenk, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name, posted something saying that like U.S. generals, after they're done with their service to their country, should be barred from working for military contractors for at least 10 years, right? And people floated the idea also of like, hey, how about 15, 20, lifetime ban, right? Whatever. The idea basically being, if you're a military general, you shouldn't be making all of these very lucrative deals for these military contractors, retiring from working for the U.S. military, and then going and getting a super lucrative job for one of these military contractors. Like, that is pretty much textbook cronyism, textbook corruption. And so he posted this, and he's pretty far left. And then Donald Trump Jr., who is by no means pretty far left, was like, yeah, this is a really good idea. Like, we should definitely be doing this. Like, on it, trying, like, we're going to try to work on this. And that's like hey, that's an idea I think a lot of Americans would be like, yeah, we should do this. And this is somebody who is very prominent on the left and somebody who's very prominent on the right. And it's like, this is a good idea. But people aren't going to hear that because it's not going to fit their narrative for their particular echo chamber, right? People on the left don't want to hear that Donald Trump Jr. is going to try to work hard to do something that they think is beneficial. And same thing, people on the right aren't going to want to hear that somebody on the left, and that this is a legitimate left idea, is being adopted by Donald Trump Jr. on the right. In fact, like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, seeing Cenk get red-pilled and stuff like that. But I think it's more than him just being red-pilled, because I don't think he's, like, becoming right? I don't think he's becoming a conservative. I think that these are just popular and more populist ideas, and the reality of our political structure is more, and ideals is more complicated than right and left. It's not binary. There's a lot of nuance to it that I do not feel like gets discussed effectively. And I would love to be able to have discussions around politics, but also around other things, right? Science. Like, I think global warming is a problem. I also think that the way the climate change community and activists talk about it is a problem. And leads to some of the denialism that we see outside of that community. Same thing surrounding, like, evolution. Some of the people that are discussing evolution don't act like that, support teaching evolution, also don't understand what, like, general consensus is amongst scientists that work on evolutionary biology or evolutionary teaching and stuff like that, what the consensus is there. So, like, the stuff that they're spreading is also incorrect, as well as the evolution, like, deniers. And I feel like there needs to be more discussion about these topics, trying to come from a nuanced and not biased viewpoint. Obviously, it's impossible to remove 100% of bias, but trying to do that the best way possible and be able to discuss these things in a rational and calm manner. And I want to find a vehicle to be able to do that. And I've struggled because I don't know if doing it as like a podcast is good. I don't know if just doing it as like a YouTube channel is good. I've like thought of the idea of like maybe doing it as just like recorded lives, like maybe doing it as like a live, like a YouTube live or something like that, where people can kind of tune in, maybe get a little bit of like chat engagement, but then also just be able to kind of publish it similar to like a video podcast or something like that. So like I've got a number of ideas. I don't know what the right vehicle is to do it. I also don't think it would be best to do it myself. Like, I feel like this would be something that would be better to have a discussion. Like, as much as I could just, like, take news stories from the day, come and talk to a camera, I think it's better to have a discussion with somebody where, like, new ideas or questions can come up, where, like, hey, somebody might have a different idea than me, somebody might have a different perspective than me, somebody might have questions about something that, like, I think is just known, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just something that I know and I'm making assumptions as to like what is fairly common knowledge. So my questions are like, A, what do you think the best vehicle is for something like that? What do you think people would engage with and enjoy the most? Obviously this is something that's going to have to be more long form. So doing like TikToks and stuff like that's not the best way to go about this, I don't think. I'm not trying to do like a 3.5 hour long Joe Rogan podcast, but I'm thinking something in like the 30 minute to an hour range is kind of my initial thought. But also, would either of you guys be willing to engage in a project like that with me? Should we do that on a different channel? Should we repurpose this channel? I know that we're coming towards the end of the year for this particular project that we've been working on. So I'm not sure if that's something that like going into next year we want to repurpose this channel to kind of make it that. Or if you guys want to continue making videos like this on this channel. I'm just looking for kind of feedback from you guys. What are you guys thinking? Let me know, because like I said, this is something that I've wanted to do for a while and I've been struggling with the best way to do it. So if you guys have any input, and people in the comments also, what would you enjoy? What would you watch? Does this sound like something that you would enjoy, that you would find interesting? What are some different like areas of discussion you would want to see? I'm also open to things that I'm not an expert in and actually like doing research to find out like, hey, this is something that we don't know a lot about, and doing research live in like that's also something I'm fine with. So let me know what you think would make sense, what you think would be good. This video is obviously longer than 5 minutes, but I think it's fairly important, at least to me. So I apologize for the length, but yeah, that's all. See y'all next week.